Alright, viewers, we all know what to do now. Breathe in with me. Breathe out. Breathe in. And light! It worked.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
I
right,
believe I'm
Beastork
still in
is
the
not
lobby.
teamless. That you are.
Did Beastork confirm he's ready?
Not quite. Oh, asking for game privacy. Reminding us once again.
Yeah.
It's always nice when our players are able to catch things that we do sometimes miss. As much as, based on today's broadcast, it's a little bit hard to believe. I, at least, am not infallible. It's a little bit hard to believe, I know, going from but it is how it is. So it's always nice when there's someone to catch what we do miss.
And I do believe these players have faced each other in GPO before, so
Have they? I was informed from a viewer. I think it was Chocolate who told me that Pez did actually play in the Grand Platypus Open before, but I just assumed that this was yeah.
I think he's played twice actually. he's played a couple of times. God damn it.
Is Pez gonna be our new what's that one player who signed up every week but Seal just kept forgetting that they signed up?
I feel like that's a lot of players. I feel like Steel forgets about a lot of players. It's like, hey, it's his first time. And it's like, Steel, he's made it to the finals like 3 times. Like, what are you talking
in a row.
about? Yeah. God. I think that was Rayvar. I can't remember. I think it was a Zerg player.
It probably is. Zerg players. There's something about the race that just leads them to be lost in the sea of faces, so to speak. Looking at you.
Speaking of Zerg players, we don't have any, but
yes, because we are going into this PvP on World of Sleepers. LE, Light, have got your matches ready. Good enough for me. We have in the top right-hand corner of the map, starting in the top right-hand corner of the map, the pink Protoss player on team Ball Plane. Pain. Ball Pain. There we go. Not plane. It's not like a field that grass eat. No, wait, cows eat. Not. The pink Protoss, currently the #1 player in Hong Kong. We'll see if Mio Micah will be able to change that in the upcoming weeks. But you know what? Last GPO of the year, Beastork gonna be the #1 player in Hong Kong for the rest of the year at the very least. Here's hoping he can maintain that, but we'll see what happens. We have Beastork.
Also, I don't know if you picked up on my mic, but I did pat my mattress when you asked me.
And in the bottom left-hand corner map, starting in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, the purple Protoss player Pez. Steel would love the alliteration. The purple Protoss player all the way from Australia and representing Team SYF, for he is in Sith Gaming. We have Pez Dispenser. Both of them essentially doing, okay, not doing the same thing. They both did go for a proxy.
They are both Protossing each other, which is exactly what we want to see in the PvP. This is gonna get a little bit crazy. Pez. Oh god, they're already they're already stalkers hitting Pez.
You sort of want to go all the way though.
Yeah. I mean,
I think he sees it as no. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if Beastork knows that there's something else hitting him as well at the same time.
I think he saw that there was no expansion and then thought, hold up. What is going on?
But there's not much here at home for Pez. Like, he's getting a shield battery, but it may be too late.
Let's see if he can target down this pylon, if Beastork can target down this pylon, but he goes for the gateway instead.
Yeah, he's gonna focus down the shield battery. He's gonna get the. Oh my god, he's got the stalker.
That's a lot of stalkers.
Like, yeah, that's a lot of stalkers. There's a shield battery here in the mineral line though. So that is something, but.
Meanwhile,
the gateways are gonna get cancelled.
Okay, being a little bit indecisive, wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do with it, but now has decided to go all the way in. Beastork has fully walled off, but
yeah,
Immortals tend to say, "Screw you, screw your wall."
Yeah, there are 2 Immortals across the map, and 2 Immortals can deal a lot of damage, but
yeah, especially to a stock-based army. Does actually get the force field, but the sentry is just siphoning so much energy from the shield batteries. That being said, though, it is tanking quite a bit. GG.
GG.
And Beastork gonna be taking game 1 of this best of 3 semifinals. In typical Beastork fashion, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like his defense was a lot more prepared too, though. Like because Pez, he was like trying to defend at home. Like his immortal push was delayed. Like he was kind of, you know, like in the middle of the map, not really doing much. And when Pez finally did hit like Beastork, there were already 2 shield batteries ready. There were already some warped in stalkers. Like, yeah, it was just. He was just ready for it.
Yeah, that indeed he was. Both players did have their couple of moments of indecisiveness, so to speak, but I think probably it might just be an experience thing. Beastork kind of knew, oh, if you have no expansion, something's up, man. Something is up.
Yeah.
And I should just evaluate how much you really have in your main. Nothing? Alright, going in.
Can you create night? I can't, for whatever reason, I can't find Nightshade in the map.
Oh, right then. I can, in fact. It's probably better if I do make the next lobby, as Singapore will be our next server. We do like to alternate between the two when we have a player, one from Southeast Asia and one from Australia, or Oceania.
Yeah.
Have we had, I think, is Risky our first New Zealand player? Oh wait, no, because Nancy signed up that one time. We did have last dance at one time. Yeah.
But he is our first player from outside the region. If that makes any sense.
Yep.
As in a player who's, you know, living outside but has citizenship like within the region. Yeah. Which there aren't very many of those.
Probe.
Unless, Probe like living in the States for a while.
Yeah, I think he is back in Australia now. Well, he would be anyway because festive season. But
yeah, he is. Yeah.
Probe is kind of a nomad, which is why he never signs up for any. Probe, please.
Okay.
Alright, players are ready. Passes are ready.
Yeah. And yeah, like as you were saying before, it does kind of go into it where if you're a player who cheeses a lot, like on the ladder, then you kind of know what the response is going to be, like, and you're already kind of prepared for like, oh, okay, like what if they're aggressive at the same time as I'm like cheesing and stuff like that. Like they typically have a lot more practice with that sort of scenario.
Yeah. Absolute chaos. I think those are known to be some of the best and worst, whatchamacallit, series of StarCraft 2. I kind of enjoyed him, but I am also not. Yeah,
I mean, I would say that most
what's the good diplomatic way to say
enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
I'm sure most like viewers enjoy watching it. It is kind of rough to play against though.
Absolutely.
As it is like kind of pretty intense.
But speaking of intense, this guy right here, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Nightshade. LE, of course, standing for. No, I remember this. There was like this one. this one? Lebanese Expedition. Lebanese Expedition. That's when we get a bunch of OSC/C players to move to Lebanon, and then because I feel like somebody needs to represent Lebanon in StarCraft 2 in the Grand Platypus Open.
What?
We're in the top left-hand corner of the map, sweating in the top left-hand corner of the map. The pink Protoss player, absolutely one of the most intense players that we do get in as a regular setup for the GPO. You can tell just by his clan tag or the team that he is in. We have Beastork. And in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, sweating in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. Still a pretty intense player, but also a very chill sort of player, you know? I couldn't quite decide whether I wanted to be the clash of the intensity or the intense versus calm down, man. Well, actually, this isn't Zen, so yeah, it can't be. Sif, he can't be the chill player. This ain't Zen. We have a player who is just as intense. We have the purple Protoss player, all the way from Australia, not making his debut, as we are reminded once again, but definitely making one of his. It's definitely a rare treat when he does sign up. The purple Protoss player, representing FYF and playing for Sif, we have Pez Dispenser. And look at that, both of them trying to pylon block.
Both of them got their pylons up and had to destroy each other's pylons. Nice. Tit for tat. It's beautiful. Also, none of these players to be confused with Intense, the North American player.
It's accurate. Maybe they're all part of the same family, you know. Much like the Protoss clan of Vietnam. Or no, not the Protoss clan, the Tusk clan.
Okay. So you're going for the Thai clan, and with all the uncles.
Nah, they all named something different.
You were making a joke with Steel during SDO about like VPNs and stuff. I'm like, why is no one talking about the uncles? Like, god damn it.
It's a good thing to. It's a good question.
Yeah, but Beastork being very aggressive, already coming in with all these stalkers and warping in even more, but Pez does have a couple of sentries for force fields, but he hasn't thrown any down yet.
This micro for Beastork right now.
Yeah, Pez saving both of his stalkers. Yeah. It's really impressive. Damn.
Alright, a sentry gonna come out from Beastork though. Simply gonna help a lot, as well as this warp prism coming across the map. Beastork does want to keep the pressure up, and he absolutely needs to. He does not have an expansion right now compared to his opponent.
Pez does kind of miss those force fields though. He doesn't have any more energy left with his sentries, and he was hoping to catch out a couple of stalkers, but missed in the end. But really important to note that those two shield batteries did finish, so he does have them for defense, but with the warp prism he can just bypass that completely. Yeah.
It's called the elevator prism.
Yeah, and he's getting
very good force field here. And that's possibly the key unit for Pez's defense, the Immortal.
Yeah,
not being in, he will get the recall.
He's
and his force field gets out just in time. A couple of these stalkers will get trapped. Let's take out a pylon at least, and I think he can't kill this Nexus, can he? Does get the force field again though.
Yeah, important to note that Beastork is on one base though, so killing this natural isn't the end of the world. Like, it isn't the end of the game if this happens.
It isn't the end of the game for Pez, but it will be the end of the game for Beastork if he doesn't kill it. Just gets force field after force field after force field, not really targeting it down. I think he might just be able to kill it, and then we'll have to recall. Does get another force field actually. These sentries blowing through their energy, getting the absolute most value that he can. Beastork is trying to. Start expanding, and in fact,
pushing. Yeah, and it's rough for Pez pushing down this ramp because he could get force field and get like his army cut in half. Yeah.
With how the positioning is made. Do you see what I see in the production tab?
I see it. I see it. Look at that. Who is this, War Buffalo? War Buffalo play?
Buffalo has been called.
Oh my god!
This is a very nice drop from
Pez.
Pez.
Yeah, he does need to be careful.
Does playing with fire, a lot of fire right now. We're just throwing out a couple of adepts, but I think Pez is fine losing. Well, it's all right losing adepts, but considering that the Nexus was sniped, you do want to keep as many units alive as you can. He does need to be so careful because
Beastlork is so on point with those force fields at the ramp. Oh my god. And yet behind this, Beastlork, he's expanding, you know? He's getting his economy up and running. Like, he's, you know, he's not completely all in. It's on Pez to try and break out of this contain.
Disruptor's starting to make its way across the map while a lot of damage.
Oh my god.
Being dealt here from Beastlork.
Sorry to
hear. Pez trying to be a little bit sneaky.
Oh my god! Pez, please!
But not being able to do so.
I wish there was a way to see if the force field is like from one player or the other. I can't.
Oh, there's like a slight tint.
There's a slight tint, but they're both pink and purple. Like, god damn.
That's accurate.
I can't tell.
Oh man, all I need to know is force fields are down.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So we're trying to get a couple of disruptor shots as well. Now Pez does have a disruptor of his own.
Yeah, what? Here's the next one. Oh my god, Pez, please. Fucking split, puppy. Split. Oh god, no!
Oh! Actually, Beastlork takes out the disruptor before the Purification Nova. Manages to complete.
He does. Which is a nice trade, trading, well, you know, already lowering Pez's disruptor count.
It is. Have you noticed right now?
Oh my god, he's gonna get it! Oh!
That's a good chunk of army.
Yeah. I don't know.
Again, being a little bit indecisive, was not able to get
he's committing though, he's going down the ramp.
There he is! The Purification Nova takes out so many stalkers!
Yeah.
And I think it's
both players have turned. Hits. Pez does have that one immortal, but so much of his army is being stuck there, but he's elevating it down. He's focusing Beastlork's disruptor as well. Oh, but there's one left.
Pez is just about broken out. Gets one adept, but it's not quite going to be enough. That being said though, Beastlork, have you noticed that he hasn't made any units other than one disruptor at a time for a good while? He's been focused entirely on probing up his economy.
For sure, for sure. He is now throwing down 3 more gateways though, so he is looking to make army once again, but he does need to be careful there.
Be careful with these again. You cannot afford to lose one unit at a time.
Oh, he got the disruptor. And he catches them. Oh my god, split!
I think the tables have turned very drastically right now.
Maybe. There are more disruptors though.
There are, you can't! Oh, the Purification Nova takes out the disruptor once again.
That could be it.
And
as long as he kills that last disruptor, and he force fields it down. That's all of his army.
Call probes as well.
Oh my
god. A lot
god.
of being taken out by the Purification Nova. Beastlork has a warpism at the other side of the map, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
He does have a disruptor on the way though. And if he gets like an amazing hit, like he could be able to hold on. I think that's the plan
right now for Beastlork. Focus on the disruptors for defense. Gets one disruptor there. But he's not really warping anything.
Yeah, Pez is still on one base. Yeah,
Pez is all in.
So like Beastlork can lose this natural and the game will continue. Like it's not the end of the world. Was he gonna commit to the shade?
Did not commit to the shade. And I think does lose a lot of probes and his natural as well. Gonna go for some of these Purification Novas. Takes out a couple of adepts. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, 2 adepts are coming in. And it's gonna put a lot of pressure on Pez. Meanwhile, commits to the shade, Pez does, and will be able to take out this disruptor as well. Purification Nova is off cooldown. The disruptor shot will take out quite a bit. I think we're in a base trade scenario right now.
Well, Beastlork, he's out of money. Like, he has all these gateways, but he can't warp in like that many units, and GG.
Woo. Alrighty then.
Pez
gonna tie up this series sideways, 1-1.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Not gonna lie, I thought for a moment there were a couple of moments where I thought Pez was gone. Like, he lost his natural, like the disruptors were coming out and Pez took a big disruptor hit early on. But he moved down the ramp, and Beastork, even though Beastork force field the ramp when Pez was coming down, like he was able to elevator his units down with his Warp Prism. And
OP Umbrella.
Yeah.
Unironically is my favorite unit in the game because it just has so much utility. I say this as a Terran player who has Marines that are basically the high utility, well, not utility, but like the, you know, the all-rounder unit.
Alright, the next map will be on Eternal Empire.
Ooh, wait, did this series... I'm just gonna... Yep, okay. I'm thinking of the previous one.
It's all good. I seem to be having a bug where I don't have the official ladder maps available to me. Don't know why. So could you make the lobby on Australia?
I could... while you do that, could you fix the, whatchamacallit, the caster thing should be in the Dropbox.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
Because I don't really want to put the casting tool up in... Yep, and next server will be on Australia.
Yep.
Players have agreed to alternate the servers.
Oh, it already has our names.
Oh yeah, that's because I put it in. But something didn't get messed up there. So it's a little bit off center.
Oh.
Like, I tried to do a temporary fix, but I think we will have to take a look later on.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile,
way.
Pete Rome 2, thank you very much. To answer your question, we will actually be taking a bit of a break for the end of the year and the beginning of next year. But that being said, once our break is done, I'm not sure if we can really announce this, but we'll have something pretty big that will happen regularly. Well, that will happen for us starting in the second week of January. And other than that, we do regularly stream our tournaments on Friday. We have amateurs that are open to anyone from any region, so long as you meet the MRR requirements. And on Sundays, we do have our Oceanic/Sea region tournament.
Yeah, so typically we, run regular tournaments on Fridays at 7 p.m. KST, and here on Sundays at 4 p.m. KST. We also regularly cast Copa America, which is coming up next week, as well as Vietnam Team League, which will be returning in January of next year.
Ah, we get to see the uncles again.
We do. And what else? Yeah, those are regular stuff. Every now and then we cast like Aodai weekly. But yeah, if you enjoy our casts, feel free to follow our channel. We do have like a roster of casters. It isn't just the two of us. We also have Steel Molds, we have Quirky, we have Yoda Slim, occasionally Kuro. Like, we have a team of people, and we work together to try and do as much as we can for the scene.
Is an accurate portrayal. Speaking of which, we do have in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map of Eternal Empire, LE. LE, of course, standing for Light Edit. That is me earlier, and I'm like, Light, I think I pressed something wrong on the TXT file. Help. We have the on the bottom right-hand corner of the map, the pink Protoss player, representing country. Well, I guess it's not really a country right now. I mean, things can change. I mean, we can't really earn that. Representing Hong Kong, as well as being the #1 player from Hong Kong currently. We'll see if that changes in the coming weeks, but for now, till the rest of the year, I will throw it down. Beastork, #1 player from Hong Kong currently, and for the rest of the year.
Bold statement.
And for the rest of the year, we have the pink Protoss player on Team Ball Pain. We have Beastork. And And in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, all the way from Australia, representing TBSYF, playing on Team Sif Gaming, we have the one and the only, we have Pez Dispenser.
I hope he has like his own like branded Pez.
Yeah,
like
that'd be pretty
that's
good.
why I have gaming like what's going on here? You know, like get like a Pez sponsorship. You know, you can get like a Team Pez dispenser. Oh my god!
You know how a lot of teams are like sponsored by Monster or Red Bull, and they're like, yeah, it gives the energy to game. Pez is just about the same thing, just a load of sugar.
Get on that Pez. Start working on caffeinated gamer Pez's. That's what we need.
Ooh, Pez does not trust Beastork at all. He suspects something is up.
What kind of madman would trust Beastork? Like, something's gotta be out there. And Pez, he's looking, but will he see it?
He does have to rally. He does have to rally.
Yeah.
And he does see it.
He spots it. He knows.
Straight in. Well,
hey.
He knows it. He sees it, but does he see it?
He's attacking the pylon, so I would hope he sees it. So he should be, getting prepared. Oh my god.
That is quite a bit of stalkers for this early in the game.
Yeah, so he should have enough stalkers to defend his Moonlight. He does lose 4 probes though. That does put him behind in the worker count.
Indeed it does, but at the very least he will be able to defend against this proxy from Beastork. Not a very, not the cheapest proxy either. It's a pylon and a Stargate.
For sure. I mean, oracles can provide value. Going
absolutely
into the
can, but that's assuming that they live into the mid game. One of them does already go down.
Already loses an oracle for nothing. He didn't even get like a revelation off or anything. Just oh my god. Is he gonna lose the second one as well? It's Beastork, please.
Let's hoping not. Alright, sees the stalkers and just backs the heck off.
Yeah.
He's trying to look for some angles. Beastork does.
Yeah, he's trying to find a way in. Oh, maybe. Bearing in mind these stalkers don't have blink or anything like that, so Pez does need to be able to split them as best he can. And yeah, it looks like we're gonna transition.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, that being said, he is transitioning to a more standard game. That Oracle definitely has put a bit of fear, or that proxy rather, has put a bit of fear into Pez, so he's hanging back with his stalkers right now, hasn't really teched up into anything. Has gotten a Robo-Bay, but hasn't made anything out of it. But, that being said, this could still work out in Pez's favor quite a bit.
Yeah, Pez losing 3-4 workers. Like, Beastork, he's doing what he can, dealing as much damage as he can with his...
Yeah, and he's actually is getting quite a bit of that damage done. Anything that will put him on the same economic footing, I think my game is froze. Oh, it's on your... Yep. Everybody repeat after me. You breathe in. And then... VIP has left the game. Alright, so it looks like... Yep. Right, yep. This time at least it won't be a radio cast. So, we'll be coming in here. Oracle. It's gonna continue to try to look for some value, and there is an angle here that Beastork is abusing. 3 more probes come down, but will the Oracle survive? It actually will. It will pop a revelation as well. And yeah, Beastork, so long as he doesn't go too greedy, as long as he doesn't want even more worker kills, he is absolutely good right now. He's evened out the worker count and even gotten ahead in that regards, continuing to go down his build. End up Warp Piston for some Immortal drops. Going down, actually, Glaived Adepts, which is a little bit of a questionable decision for me right now, when you know your opponent is really Stalker heavy. But, that being said, Pez does think that it's safe to expand, and he could absolutely be punished for it. It's, Warp Prism will be rallied right over there. And we will just await. We'll just await. How does Beastork react to this? Drops the Immortals. And there we go. Does have an army on the way to try to deal with them. But losing a a pylon. And actually, these Immortals just do not care one bit. They're going straight into the Guardian Shield. And they are picking off Stalkers one by one. I think it is... Blink is being researched by Pez, but not anywhere near on the way. So these Stalkers really can't punish Beastork's aggression too much. Does lose an Immortal though, and the Oracle, but the Adepts are in, and they will do, I would say, they should do a pretty good job once Glaives is done. They should do a pretty good job of softening up the army for the Immortals, if the Immortals were still alive, that said. A lot more army is being warped in from Beastork though, so much more army. Pez does have the upgrade advantage, and he's about to get Blink very, very soon. So he could snipe some key units from Beastork, but the third base will go down regardless. And I think Beastork is backing off. He is content. He knows that he's did a lot of damage. And he's just gonna hang back until he can do even more. Ooh, Lord. You cannot be happy right now if you're in Pez's shoes. You've been forced to go down a tech path that you didn't really want to go down. And then you tried to get up from that and try to go for something. And while that happens, a whole lot of Glaive Adepts and a lot of other army are in your natural. Trying to recall, but doesn't actually manage to recall all of it. Pez is in a rock and a hard place right now, as they say. Might be able to catch a Warp Prism off guard, but not before these Adepts do manage to shade in. Warp Prism does get sniped, but I think that's just too much army for Beastork right now. This is very much it. GG. And Beastork, he is going to be one of the 2 finalists of the last Grand Platypus Open of 2019.
Hold on, I need to check something. Okay, this is the second time Beastork has made it to the finals.
Yeah,
which is pretty good. Like, I was gonna say, I don't think we've seen him in the finals too often, but like
I do remember that one time he was in the finals versus Demi. Well, I guess I didn't really have to say versus Demi. So the finals with GPO.
Could all make the assumption. But yeah, wow, he's playing really well today. Like, he's taking out Pez. Yeah. He took out Risky. Like, mate,
Manine.
Could this be
on the
it?
Up and up. This could
have
be
we been
it.
waiting all year for this?
Well, we might have. If you're thinking, will Beastork be the one to take down Demi? He might, but there's another player right now who is looking to take that title for himself, waiting in the upper brackets of the semifinals. And do you mind if I'm making the lobby while I go grab some chocolate-covered pretzels so I don't pass out?
Yeah, go for it. I will try. We will see if I can make the lobby and find the correct map, as my game seems to have been a little bit buggy today. But yeah, if you're new to our tournament series, Azure versus Demi, this is like a classic matchup. We've seen these two go toe-to-toe in finals many times, as well as in semifinals. And yeah, Azure being one of the only players who has been able to consistently take maps off of Demi. Unfortunately, or depending on how you look at it, fortunately, Azure hasn't been able to take down Demi in the finals, but we'll see. It's a new patch, it's a new season, new maps.
We're a little bit into this patch as well, so players are starting to figure out good builds and whatnot.
For sure. Mech is on the rise again, and we know how Azure does enjoy his mech from time to time.
I mean, It's Azure. He's a player who just alternates based on anything really.
He can. He can be very diverse. And yeah, I just do not seem to see Azure in game.
That tends to be an issue sometimes.
And sometimes.
Not the whole time.
I have just sent him a message on Discord.
Is good to hear. Now, I suppose this might just be the match. I think we were talking a little bit about it earlier, but I think this is just about as appropriate of a series or a semifinals you can get for the final GPO of 2019. Now, it isn't the finals, but still, they've got a little bit going on, these two players. Much like Stacey's.
There is definitely a history between these two players, to say the least. But yeah, I think the only other fitting finals would be if Justice Simon would have made it to the semis.
Yeah. Justice Simon, I think, is the other player who made it to as many or a lot of finals.
Yeah,
and he's also
unfortunately.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a meme around him. If you're familiar with the Pylon show, they always joke about how they always see Justice Simon in online tournaments, and he just always comes second.
In Aodai.
Yeah, in Aodai, in our tournaments.
But I mean, yeah, I was thinking you were gonna go the path of I don't remember his name, but in Center Meno at Latino, they do like to go over that during Pylon show, and there was at one point, was it X question mark? I don't remember which player it was. But he just won every Center Meno Latino for like 12 weeks in a row, and so after a while, Cobra just thought, all right, enough's enough. It's excessive. We're gonna
I'm pretty sure that
we're
was
gonna Photoshop a bunch of stuff.
I'm pretty sure that was Eric.
Yeah. Name rings closer bell now.
Yeah.
Alright, Demi asking for a little bit of a short break.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Bit of 2 to 3 minutes break, which we can accommodate.
Just to finish up his lunch. Really. As Demi in the past, it's like blitz through the bracket to make it to the finals and be like, alright, I'm gonna end out for lunch and waiting for everyone else to catch up. Whilst we are waiting, I would like to remind everyone that if you ! Matcherino in the chat, it will take you to our Matcherino page, where with the code GPO15, you can provide $1 to the prize pool at no cost of your own. Although you could, if you wanted to.
You could. Yep. And yeah, this will be our last, not just GPO, but our last major tournament this year. As we've already had our last SDO, we've already had our last MSO.
We've had our last Sacramento.
Yeah, we've had our last Sacramento. But after this, next week on Friday, we will have our Ducklings Showdown, which is our end of
it's
year.
off NDA. Nice.
We can talk about it. You already talked about it on Friday. What are you on about? You did. Still brought it up.
You expect me to remember events that took place 2 days ago?
But we do have our usual end of year show matches.
We do. The gauntlet has been thrown down.
Yeah, we did it in 2017. We did it last year in 2018. We have our third event this Friday.
We haven't
announced. There are some big names. We haven't announced the matchups yet. We will do that in the following days. So keep an eye out on Twitter or our Discord if you wanna be notified about that.
I'm just saying, man. For people who have been following us throughout the year, you will be you'll be pretty pleased with some of these matchups.
Yeah, there are a couple of like inside like matchups that have been building up over the years. I would say over the years, to be honest.
Really? Well, some of them did really go to the next level this year.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, True's not playing in the show match because somebody couldn't get Cess to show match True. Alright, Demi is back.
Oh.
And our players are ready.
Ready. Here we go. Mate, this is it. This is the last time we're going to see these two players go at it. 2019.
In this best of 3 series semifinals.
Yeah. Alright, go for it, Yaku.
I gambled on whether or not I could swallow this pretzel before the games go in, and and here we have it on World of... Just gonna... Oh, yep. And here we have it. As Seether is saying, the greatest rivalry of our time. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, starting in the bottom left-hand corner of the map of World of Sleepers, LE. LE, of course, stands for Longitude Expenditure. Longitude Expenditure. Figure that one out. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, starting in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, representing Legacy Esports and on Legacy Esports and from the island nation of Australia. We have the Green Terran, one half of the greatest rivalry of our time. We have Batty, Azure, and in the top right-hand corner of the map, swatting in the top right-hand corner of the map, we have the Red Zug. He has won 14 of these in a row. He's looking to continue his streak and become the definitive platypus of 2019. But across him, man, there is one man who's trying to take him down, but he's still got fighting him, for he is known as La Shark. We have all the way from India and representing OSC Elite, despite being teamless, so team owners, if you would like to contact, we have Demi.
If Demi wins this GPO, do we need like some fan art made of like a shark with a duck bill or something? Like,
get on it, Last Dance.
I feel like we need something. We need, I don't know if we're gonna have like Yaku make like a GPO trophy. I don't know. I don't know.
15 PO.
Appreciate that.
G15O.
Yeah, maybe. Something else I noticed actually. If you look at Azure's base, Legacy Esports haven't updated their logo.
Yeah, they did rebrand, and I actually didn't look too much into that because when it was posted, Seal was telling me to get in for Club. But I did see that they've rebranded. They have a new logo now, which is different, but the same.
It is different. They kept their tree theme, but it's a little bit more...
It's more like a Sproutling this time, isn't
it? Yeah. I mean, the trunk looks more like tentacles or roots, I guess.
Oh yeah, it's because they're partnering up with Borgosu.
Yeah. It's a little bit more modern, I guess. I like how it is now currently in game. Not gonna lie, I do appreciate the tree. And how it looks.
It kind of looks like, you know what it actually reminds, the current one actually reminds me of?
What does it remind you of?
It kind of reminds me of Church Pamphlet.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
It kind of does, yeah. Maybe that's why they want to rebrand. I don't know. But it is.
They
possible.
realized that we were a Jewish clan, so.
But yeah, I will imagine we'll see the new logo updated in the coming weeks.
Unlike the OSC Elite logo, haha. Too soon. Hashtag too soon.
Too soon. But we do have Azure going for Steel's favorite unit.
Yeah, ranged libs. It's never ranged liberators. And there's a good reason why, but I kind of wish that one time, just one
These
time.
Hellions, they're getting into the main though.
That they are, and they've already cleaned out the link count. There's not a lot of connected creep here, so these queens will take quite a while clumping up his drones, which is never good. Demi is, and I think
the split's pretty good though.
That they are. Could have been a heck of a lot worse.
Could have been terrible.
Down.
Yeah, Azure seeing an opening, diving straight in, but not exactly getting the damage that he wanted. Only losing 3 drones.
If he's seen this, yep, he has seen the fusion core, so Demi will have to get ready for the battle cruiser that's coming out, and more factories go down. And as you said, Azure, he likes his mech, he likes his bio, but he also likes his mech.
I mean, I would have to look into it, but I'm pretty sure every match Azure has won versus Demi has been off of mech.
False.
Has he won a bio game?
Yeah, he's won quite a few bio games. The most prominent ones being on Wintergate, which is the one map that, or Azure was the one guy who would choose Winter's Gate as his map. And he usually played bio on those, and he was actually able to really thrash Demi on Winter's Gate.
We'll see if he does have another. Maybe it is like a map thing, a map dependent thing.
Could be as well.
Yeah, if there's another map like that in this current map pool.
That I do hope so.
The BC's in, you know, he gets a probe, not too much damage, being pretty conservative to be honest. Giving Demi enough time for the rest of the queens to come over.
He manages to get one queen and might get an overlord as well. Azure being very conservative with his BC. And nice transfuse on the overlord. So yeah, a drone and a queen, not too bad.
Yeah. And you know, he does keep it alive so he can deal some more damage later on. He can, you know, keep poking in when he can. And oh, here we go. Demi already throwing down his Spire.
We know Demi for one thing. Well, we know Demi for many things, but one thing that we know Demi for is that Muta switch.
Muta. Yeah, I mean, this could just be for Corruptors, especially against the BC, or he could just go crazy and just make a bunch of mutas and just dive in. I don't know.
It's pretty good. There's not a lot of anti-air for Azure right now. Although, in saying that, as the game goes on, Azure will have probably the best anti-air unit in the game. Or one of them anyway. No, I'm kidding. The Thor.
Marines are pretty good too. But yeah, Thor is also good. But there is sometimes this like window where, you know, it's before the mech player starts getting Thors, and you could deal some damage with mutas there.
So windows of opportunity.
For sure. The BC going around, being annoying.
And unlike his game versus Oreo, Azure this time, he's going pretty heavy on the BCs.
Yeah, he's not stopping production, and he's committing to the Yamato as well. We'll see how that goes. Demi getting a Baneliness as well, and melee? Question mark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Noodling Bane! No, he's also getting ranged. He's just getting... I think he threw down an extra evolution chamber by mistake and decided, you know what? May as well use it.
You know, I've got the money, I'm just gonna
that's Spire. That's his air carapace. No mistake.
Yes. And yeah, he is getting Corruptors out, so that will help against the BCs.
I think there's one BC already gone. No, teleported away. I can teleport away once again.
Yeah, as long as his transfusions are on point, he should be good. Should be fine. Yeah, Demi, I mean, Azure hasn't really done much with this BC opening. And it will kind of come down to like them being a support unit, like with the main army, as he does have like 3. I think he's getting a 4th one. It's like, Jesus Christ. Has he lost any?
He has not, actually.
Wow, okay.
He has lost 1 SCV, 6 Hellions, and a Reaper. And speaking of Hellions, dives onto Demi's 3rd, or no, 4th actually. And manages to wipe out the mineral line, essentially.
Yeah.
It's gonna start to add up, man.
I mean, that's the kind of damage that he wants, right? And you know, Hellions are pretty expendable. Like it's okay.
That is Zerglings of mech turn.
Exactly. And yeah, it looks like Azure, he's trying to find more damage with these VCs. He's sending them out.
And he might just find absolutely what he wants. There is no anti-air in this army. He's got a couple of Yamatos, or just 1 Yamato and the Queen. Fantastically done. And now he's just gonna clear creep. He still does have warps.
The Corruptors are here.
He does. Oh, risk the Yamato. But there was enough Corruptors to one-shot that, and 2 of them do make it out alive.
The 3rd there.
The 3rd did get roasted a little bit. 8 more drones.
Yeah. Some nice multi-prong attack there from Azure. You know, trying to hit with the BCs and the Hellions at the same time.
And Azure, he's still ramping up. He's getting his blue flame, he's getting smart servos, and we were talking about it earlier. There is a window for the Zerg player to attack the mech player when there are no Thors, but now...
Yeah. That window is closing as the first couple of Thors are coming out. And yeah, like Azure's slowly transitioning into this like ideal mech army. I'm not too sure, because I'm not too familiar with mech, if you want Ravens in this eventually.
You could get 1 or 2, but you don't want to take up, you don't want Ravens to be what's taking up your supply.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it could be good
damage.
for like pushing out and clearing creep, I guess, as well as for its anti-armor missile. But yeah.
Speaking of moving out without a Raven, is the first big move out to be coming from Azure. I think he might be a little overzealous right now. Has 1 Thor here? Yep, 1 Thor here. 2 Thors here, rather. Like, it could still definitely be fine. There's not a lot that the ground army... Like, if he manages to siege his tanks up in time, the ground army, I don't see it contesting Azure.
I mean, that's what it's all going to come down to, his tank positioning. You know, he is spreading it pretty nicely. Oh, but here comes the main army, the Banelings crush in, and now they're all gone. It's just Ravagers.
But a couple of those corrosive vials do land on the tanks, but also takes out some of the Corruptors while it's done. Almost every single tank is still alive and in a fantastic position. Azure moving on to slowly siege forward. And that's
also the problem, though, is that Azure, he's slowly pushing forward. So Demi does have some time here to try and edge out a couple more units.
And here he goes. This is not the best position for the Zerg army to engage this, but the tanks are spread out enough. And he manages to wipe out a good amount of that tank count. The Thors are not focusing on the Corruptors. And these VCs are vulnerable now.
Yeah, he pushes through the tank line and he manages to clear everything up and... yeah, pushes Azure away.
Ooh, some of these Blue Flame Hellions onto the 4th. So you get quite a bit for only 4 Hellions. And meanwhile, Azure has been mustering up whatever remains of his army to get a makeshift defense. Great Aspire will go down for Demi. And I think the tables might have just turned.
Yeah, it's rough because Azure, he came out with this strong push, but he wasn't really able to deal much damage with it. He did get like a good run by off, but like ideally he like pushes into a base and like kills the 3rd or something. And now it's on Azure to buy some time to try and close the supply gap that we have.
That's Banelings.
Yeah, that's a lot of Banelings being morphed.
All quirky because I think we're about to see a bust.
Oh, but he's being pulled back though because of the run by.
Oh, that he is. Demi. Gotta be careful, man.
Yeah. But the distances aren't that big, so Demi, he's already he's already across the map again, like, or in the middle. I feel like it's on Azure to try and pull his attention away and stop him from pushing into Azure's base, but
it's tough to do.
He might be going for it.
Yeah, it's tough to do when your opponent has basically the momentum swell into their favor. Didn't even need to bust this wall, but he will have to be careful not to lose units unnecessarily. That is a pretty strong tank line, but SCVs are starting to go down and down and down.
He's able to hold though, but at the same time, Azure did have an army to the right of the map, which I don't think accomplished much. But in saying that,
it was
Azure
more for securing his. It was more for securing his. What would that be? His 6th base? Yeah, that's what it is. And Azure is maxed out. I think there is a position for Demi to engage this, but he cannot just run his army straight into that.
Yeah, he can't be like too overconfident. He does still need to continue splitting and spreading his tanks, and he is pretty nicely, you know, trying to reduce the amount of damage that Corrosive Bile can do.
Not much here that can contest the Thors, and there's not a lot in the sky for Demi anyway.
These 4 tanks
quite a couple of Brute Lords.
There
are a lot of Brute Lords, but the Hellbats don't really care about the Broodlings. The Thors are softening them quite a bit, and Yamato can for good measure, but the Corruptor count is way too high right now for Demi.
Yeah.
And I think
all of the BCs, all of the Thors go down.
I think once again, Azure tried to break Demi, but Demi not having any of it.
Yeah, Azure, he maxed out, but he didn't have enough anti-air. Like, he has all these tanks, but they don't shoot up. Like, the Brood Lords are just going to push through all of this.
That they will. More and more being produced right now. He hasn't made anything out of his starport for a long time.
Yeah, he looks like he has been trying to continue BC production. And he is making Thors now, but it may be a little bit too late. Again, like if Demi pushes out with these Broodlords, I don't see too much to contest
well, he
against
sent
them.
his Corruptors very far forward. It's a little bit of time that Azure has before the Broodlords can really come in, but he's not gonna risk it.
Well, he does end up getting that orbital. And there are a couple of Mr. There are a couple of Thors. There aren't that many Broodlords.
But when you factor in the ground army.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
A lot of friendly fire is going down right now from these tanks.
Azure is counterattacking at the same time, trying to draw Demi away, but it's... Yeah, it doesn't look like Demi's having any of it. Yeah, he's just
if he's not careful, this could cripple him. Demi either needs to defend or do as much damage to Azure as he possibly can. A couple of Thors try to soften up the Corruptor count, but I think this is a broken base for Azure, but most of his key army is still well alive, trying to catch the Brute Lords out of position as well. As that counterattack has been cleaned up.
Well, I mean, like, if it wasn't for that counterattack, I would say that was like, Azure's in a rough position. He does lose another base, though.
He does, but I think the ground army is now weak enough.
The Brute Lords are morphing, though. Like, this could be Azure's opportunity.
Absolutely will be. There aren't a lot of Broodlings, but in saying that, the Hellbats are already gone, so there's nothing that can really protect the ground army of Azure. Thors are going to come in to try to get some more anti-air, but as time goes on, more and more of these Lings and Ravagers do start streaming in. 1 BC. That is all. That's basically all Azure has right now, and it is gone.
Yeah, he was almost able to do it. Demi's army was left exposed without any Corruptors for a while, and Azure was able to kill a lot of Broodlords, but there just wasn't a ground army on the ground to protect the Thors. All of the Thors got surrounded by the Lings, and now we have Demi pushing into Azure's 4th. He's gonna get another base. Yeah, this time Azure does have a bunch of Hellbats, so he should be able to clear up all of the Broodlords.
Yes, but the Roach count is still far too good right now. If they can just run in and surround these Thors, Demi not going for it though. Well, he's done enough damage to just back off now.
Exactly. With this push, which is finally now stopping, he killed 3 bases, and behind this Demi, he took a 5th.
Yeah.
Well, 6th even.
Hey, that. Sick.
He has been like losing a lot of drones to run bys, but like if we compare worker counts, and on top of that, like Azure losing his orbital commands, like so he has limited mules. Like this is his last push, really.
Yeah, he only has 21 workers right now, and not a lot of energy to mule up. He is all in with half the army supply. is to find the absolute best position possible to even make this a worthy fight, essentially. Or not even that,
I mean, he could. Demi's already like making a concave preemptively. He's biling the Thors. The Thor's a little bit slow trying to dodge the biles, but the army is on top of them.
This is the end of the end. Like,
yeah, he's trying to push out. He could kill this hatchery. He is muling to try and repair his Thors, but
he doesn't want. He wants to be muling to get income. Is the thing.
Yeah. Demi. He's pushing in. He's got reinforcements. GG. That's game number 1.
And then that was game number 1. Wowie. And such a close game, which I guess is what tells you why these two have such a history with one another.
Yeah, like it did swing in Azur's favor a couple of times during that game, but yeah, again, like, you know, the starting BCs didn't really do much damage or as much damage as they would have liked. And again, like there was that one push where Azur, he was looking strong. He killed like all of the ground army, but there just wasn't enough anti-air for the Broodlords, and they were able to just clean up all the tanks. And he lost a lot of tanks just because of that.
The Triton will be our next map.
And it will be on the Singapore server. Could you make
that
this?
I could.
Sweet.
If that was game 1, man, then we're gonna see what's in store for us in game 2.
Yeah, bearing in mind this is Azur's map pick, and he is pretty diverse with his build orders, as well as his playstyles, so he could have something special in store for us.
No, that's a Mexican player.
Who? Oh, no. God damn it. I mean, they are both Terran, so...
Yeah, they both play Terran. It's their main race.
Yeah, we don't know. Like, Special, you know, he's been mentored by TY. I feel like Special needs, you know, someone to be mentored by him now. Like the passing of the torch, you know, with TY becoming a caster, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's gotta be.
Not gonna lie.
It's gotta be Terran. Or Fuego.
It's gonna be Thermal or something. It's gonna be Marine Lord.
It could be Clem.
Could maybe.
I feel like the playstyles are very different though.
Yeah, they are. Just a reminder to hydrate your hydras as Demi is getting some water.
I'm almost fresh out, man.
God.
Hydrate your hydras, stretch your roaches, drain your disruptors, cover your corruptors. And eat your thighs.
Excuse me?
Nope, nothing.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, God. But yeah, you know, if you're watching, don't forget !Maturino in the chat if you wish to contribute to the prize pool, as Maturino do, I guess it's a sponsorship. They do support this tournament, to say the least. They sponsor OSC, and they sponsor OSC by providing these Maturino codes to the tournaments. That is how they work. Good luck, have fun. Both players are ready.
Let's get right into it then. Game 2 on Triton LE in the Best of 3 series. EVZ.
And bit of a knowledge bomb if you are unfamiliar with how Maturino works. They are given a marketing or an advertising budget. And with that budget, like that's what they do with the codes. Like that's essentially what the codes are. They like sponsor and contact tournaments, and they take part in them, and they support them, and that's how they advertise their site and their brand.
Yeah, that's why we have the widget.
Oh.
And speaking of the Witcher, we have here on Triton, the tiniest of the tries. As Steel Mold would say, the name does not quite make sense, but I mean, you know, what does? In the top left-hand corner map, swinging in the top left-hand corner of the map, we have the Green Terran, representing Team Legacy Esports and playing for Legacy, all the way from the Isle Nation of Australia. I got coming and say, get the crocodiles on the barbie, and they're coming in for, give it up for Betty. Azure, a high. And in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, I don't think. Don't
impersonate an Indian.
That's a pretty big market that we don't want to offend just yet. Hey, the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. Representing the Jewel of India and OSC Elite, although currently teamless, so if anybody team owners would like to sponsor him, he's lost a lot of money by, well, he didn't really lose the money because he didn't win the money yet, but he lost an opportunity to win a lot of money. And ever since then, he's been trying to make up for it in the Platypus Open. Can he get his 15th in a row? We have the shark himself, Demi.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Demi did forego participating in the Indian Pro League. Yeah. Or it was called something along those lines.
Yeah, it was something Pro League, but it wasn't like a team league sort of thing. It was an individual, I believe, invitee tournament?
Yeah, something along those lines. And unfortunately, it coincided with WSG, so Demi couldn't participate in it. Even though he is the most known.
Yeah, and I want to say it was something like a 10K prize pool.
Yeah,
now,
it was a lot of money.
Yeah. But I mean, WSG has like a, whatchamacallit, 1.5, no wait, 150K, no, 200K prize pool, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, like, ideally you play in both, right? But unfortunately...
Yeah, ideally you win both.
yeah.
Because, I mean, you don't really get a lot if you aren't one of the top 3 in WSG.
Yeah, as it is quite top-heavy. But, you know, they do also offer prize money for qualifiers and stuff, so...
Yeah, they do.
You do get stuff. As well as plane tickets.
Yeah. And damn hotel
but anyway...
rooms.
This isn't WSG. This is GPO,
really?
Right? This may shock you.
But we have an Australian versus an Indian.
That we do.
It's a worldwide.
And you know what? We were talking about this earlier. We were talking about how diverse Azure is. You're talking about Winter's Gate. Look what's being made right now.
And you know what? This map, it has one thing in common with Winter's Gate.
The snow.
Yeah.
Hey. 2-1-1.
3-1-1.
Go. 3-1-1.
No, 1-1-1 into 3-1-1.
Is it a 2-1-1 into a
No, it wasn't
1-1-1?
No, it wasn't 1-1.
1-1-1?
No, it wasn't 1-1
into...
It was a 1-1-1 into 2 more racks.
How does the math work on that?
Well, you get 1 racks, 1 factory, 1 starport, right? And the important thing is this is off of 1 base. But now that the second base is down, 2 more. So, not quite part of the equation.
I feel like we need Steak in here to do some calculations.
Don't ask him to calculate more stuff, man.
Yeah, good. But yeah, so this is quite a nice opening. I'm not too sure. I'm just gonna check if Demi has sent an overload into Scout, and
he has, but it has been killed off very tragically.
He did, but he did see the 2 racks though, I do believe. So
at least he knows have an
idea. Yeah.
Once again, he does know that Azure likes to switch it up quite a bit. He is fond of his Krug, as he spells it.
Yep.
And so he knows him better than he knows himself.
Oh my god, are we gonna see a drama between the two of them? Is that what we're getting to?
Starring Claire.
Starring Claire as Azure. Like, what?
Yeah, we can get Fear Dragon as Demi.
we probably could. Not gonna lie. Ooh, but it looks like Azure, he's going for a very strong push here.
Yeah, he is. You actually don't see this too often nowadays. Now, Maru used to do this a lot back in the days of 2018, where he'd load up his tanks into his medevacs just so he can very quickly position them before really risking too much. I mean, it did fall out of favor for quite a number of reasons. The biggest one being most people aren't Maru, so they couldn't quite get it down.
Yeah,
but
and you know, the meta does shift, you know, when a lot of people play a certain style more and more.
It does. These techs are very exposed, but the bio is still well alive and starting to crunch down the army of Demi.
Oh my god, the medevac gets picked off there.
That is a team kill. I was trying to impersonate the sounder, but yeah, that was the not the cleanest defense, but that was the most. That was the most I won't have to worry about your second attack for like 15 more minutes kind of defense.
Yeah, but well, as you were saying, like Azure, he kind of left his tanks exposed, and they didn't last too long in the fight, immediately going down, and then it was just the bio against the Roach Ravager.
And as Milk does like to tell me every single dojo, keep your tanks alive. Your bio is expendable, but most of the time, if you kept your tanks alive, you'll still have quite a bit of bio.
Yeah. So a bit of unfortunate positioning there from Azure. I don't know if he didn't know where the main army was, so he wasn't too sure where to defend his tanks from.
I think maybe he saw blood and decided to just jump. And then it was a little bit of chaotic situation from there. He knew that an army was up in his face, but even as the observer, it kind of was hard to tell who had the bigger army. In fact, it looked like Demi even might have had, like half of what Azure had.
Yeah. I mean, it can be deceiving seeing like Roach Ravager, as you don't typically see that against Fire. But this does kind of swing in the favor of Demi. In saying that though, Azure does have a pretty nice defensible position here at his third with all of his tanks sieged up, as well as his bio. So he should be fine for the time being. In saying that though, look what's on the way.
That is another not 2 base. This time twice the amount of bases. Well, I mean, I'm not sure if you can really count the forces being made, but twice the amount of 2 bases. It actually might not be Muta. But it's a Spire.
Tis a Spire. And against Spire, he's already got the Ling Bane. Could be Muta.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if it was Mutalist this time, because it feels, to me anyway, it feels more like in a ZVT, the unit that you get out is dependent on what do you need? Do you need air-to-air or do you need air-to-ground?
Yeah.
Now, Corruptors, just in general, you can keep them along for later because they can become into Brute Lords, but there are a lot of strategies that involve, not getting Brute Lords.
There it is.
Alright, never mind. There it is. Corruptors and an Infestation Pit on the way.
God damn it, Demi. Why couldn't you just make me?
That's all I want.
So I just want to see Ling Bane Muta again, okay?
Good old Ace.
He does have the Infestation Pit on the way, so he is looking to transition into Brood Lords. And this could catch Azure off guard. Like, he hasn't quite seen it yet. And he may not see it until...
Well, he has to suspect something, though, right? Your Berserk opponent is not going to stay on Roach Ravager Ling Bane for this long.
Yeah. Usually they do take up into something else, whether it's Mutas, Ultras, Lurkers are even coming into fashion. But yeah,
you're committing to his multi-pronged harasses.
Yeah. He's trying. He's also going on the left side of the map as well with some.
Corruptors
he does see the Corruptors.
Corruptors are out, and there's no boost on this medevac. A fantastic flank from Demi. not able to drop the load. And that's a lot of Marines that went down, but that does put the Corruptors on that side of the map.
But clearing up those 2 drops does, you know, give Demi like the go-ahead to focus more on this one. Doesn't have to focus too much more on that multi-prong. And yeah, with that, Demi, he's already maxed out. He's going to be ready to push out pretty soon.
Oh, well, this is going on. Azure saying, I need to stop you before that happens.
Yeah, going forward, deal some sort of damage.
Now, Azure can still take this fight. This is a lot of Lings, a lot of Corruptors, and the only thing that Azure really has on the air right now are these medevacs. It's the only thing that he has in the air.
Yeah.
And the ratios are also kind of not quite there, so long as Azure doesn't expose his tanks this time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're right in saying that. Oh, I was about to say that Demi doesn't have too many banings, but he is creating another wave of them.
Heck of a lot more. Yeah, and that's going to be difficult to micro against on creep. But I'm thinking once he takes down the space, Azure should just back off. Demi going around. I'm not sure if that's for a flank or for some counter attack. But one base has gone down from Demi. Another base is being pressured as well. And Azure, he realizes the army isn't coming for him. He's thinking, where's that army, dude?
Yeah, he's trying to find another angle, and it looks like he's going to be able to deny this base as well, which is quite nice.
That is a lot of damage being dealt to get this base as well. That being said, though, that's a lot of Lings, and that's a lot of Banes that are right outside Azure's third.
Bearing in mind, this entire time, Demi has been buying time. Like, he's got his upgrades on the way. You know, he's morphing more and more Banelings. Like, he's getting ready for this big fight. He hasn't engaged.
It's a pretty good position for the tanks to be in. Splits him up decently well. I think Azure now realizing, oh, most of your army is...
his tanks are a little bit exposed, though.
That they are... Azure needs to turn around, but that being said, there's not too much that can really punish this the position of these tanks.
Yeah. It's because Azure's his base is getting hit by the run by as well as this is happening, so his attention was pulled away.
Meanwhile,
he's gonna lose all those SCVs.
A lot. Indeed,
this is a lot of bio,
but that is a lot of bio.
So much bio. Yeah, and he has a Viper out, but the blinding clouds aren't enough.
Absolutely isn't. That blinding cloud can't do anything if there's nothing to clean out the army, because once again, this is almost everything was on the Corruptors by the time this happened. Yeah. Now a lot of Lings have been thrown down or have been made.
He's waiting. He's waiting for the Viper to get more energy to try and blinding cloud the tanks, but there's just so much bio here. There's so many Corruptors that can't shoot down. They're not really doing much against this main push.
Azure does have a good position though, and that's a lot of bio. It's a very good blinding cloud, but the positioning was just too good for Azure.
The flank
trying to go for a flank though. Yeah, absolutely. But most of the army of Demi has been cleared out in the front, and now there's only one prong to deal with. Good game is called Azure. Taking game 2.
GG.
Sideways, 1-1. This was the 3 series.
Yeah, they tied up 1-1. I do think that Demi's tech choice of going Corruptors is kind of what hurt him. Like, he had so much supply in those Corruptors, and all they could do is...
so much supply that he didn't have any supply left to morph Broodlords.
Yeah, Broodlords or, you know, more Ling Bane, which arguably would be more valuable, right? Because it was the bio that was dealing so much damage. Yeah. Like, the Corruptors were kind of dead supply in the end.
Yeah. Especially when your opponent goes for tanks instead of mines.
Yeah, or Liberators, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, once again, you can see why that this is the greatest rivalry of our time, according to Seether. Look at that, Azure. Lower army supply for almost all of that game.
Damn.
Resource collection rate, upgrade spending, workers active, all of them were lower for that good part of for a lot of that game. But when it came down to it, it's that common tactic that Volticus likes to lecture us on. He split his army up too much that they weren't very effective.
Yeah, I mean, arguably as well, Demi going for that counterattack probably wasn't the best idea. Like, you know, we were thinking maybe he was going around to try and flank the tanks. Arguably that could have been a better decision. because he did waste a lot of Ling Bane, like crushing through the depots and killing the bases there. But yeah, GG.
I think if he did go for that flank much early on instead of trying to go for the counterattack, it would be an entirely different story, and Demi would have been on his 15th finals.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he would have won, but you could argue that he would have been in a better position.
Because at this point, Azure's positioning was not as good as it was later in the game.
Yeah,
really.
Well, I mean,
we said a little bit that
Azure,
his techs were much more exposed earlier on, and we said it a little bit earlier. Azure, it looked like Azure was giving Demi a lot of time, but it actually went both ways.
For sure.
Alright, Eternal Empire is the map that we are just about starting to load into.
Yep. Game number 3, the ace match between these two players. Really, that's the only way it could go. In the last
definitely is. Shall we see what happens? Will the shark return? Or will the prince that was promised have a bigger harpoon? And speaking of a lot of things, here we have it in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map of Eternal Empire. LE. LE, of course, stands for Long Water Escapade. Long Water Escapade. That's gonna be a name of a ride on some kind of water park. It's a Long Water Escapade. It's just you falling down the tube, which is full of water. Sounds horrible. That sounds terrible. Think about it. Yeah, in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. Sorry, in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, Red Zerg, all the way from India, representing OSC Elite. He's been bruised, he's been bloodied, but can he come back? But can he come back to turn it around? We have the Red Zerg, the 14-time Grand Platypus Open champion. We have the shark himself, Demi. And in the top left-hand corner of the map, starting in the top left-hand corner of... No, wait, which one is... left is...
Right.
Wait, never eat C. Never eat C. So left is... Yeah, left is... No, left is west. In the top right-hand corner of the map, starting in the top right-hand corner of the map, the Blue Terran. He's known this opponent many times, and now it looks like he's getting closer and closer to finally putting him down. We have the Blue Terran representing Legacy Esports all the way from Australia and playing on Team Legacy. We have the prince that was promised, Azure. Hi.
It's important to note that when you are on the Australian server, everything is backwards. So
is that accurate?
Can be confusing. Yeah. It's understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we do have some pretty standard openings. I was half expecting Azure to like proxy racks or something,
as he's known to do in the past.
He has done that in the past.
He just he throws it in every now and then.
Yeah.
As again, the most diverse player in GPO, I would say. Well, him and Demi, really.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue for the both of them. But yeah, looking more straight up this game. Still too early to tell if he's going for bio or mech. He has done both this series.
That's where he throws in something weird. That's where he goes neither. I'm just gonna wall you in with CCs, turn them all into planetaries. What now?
Oh, nice. Is able to deny that third. Doesn't quite get the drone though.
Yep. Now this could really go two ways for Demi. It could either go, man, that's annoying, and then he clears out the Reaper and gets his cert, or he could say, all right, that's it, Ling Flood.
2 base. It is possible, but he will get it in the end. Ooh.
Does Reshi get it? It's a little bit off timing. Sure it was there. That's... I know that feeling, man. I know that feeling as a Terran player where like, I just throw the grenade, and then you throw the grenade, and it actually goes under the hatchery.
Yeah. But... Oh, never mind.
Sure, once again going weird. Yeah.
I saw Stim being made in the production tab, and then he cancelled it.
Oh,
and then he
you're a psychic.
Production.
Wait, you saw Stim being made?
Yeah, he was making it, then weird. He cancelled it, and then he switched the racks in the factory.
Interesting. Well, he is continuing to go into the marine-based army, so it looks like it will be bio regardless, but delaying Stim a little bit. Now,
yeah, it looks...
I would like... that. There is a couple of things that I can think of to do that, like, say, maybe you're going for a bit of a later timing. Maybe you want to, like, focus on the early game with your Vikings and your Hellions. And then later on go for a timing, but...
Yeah, it could also just be like a more defensive opening, just to get that tank out, just so it's already sieged, you know, to defend against any like wings or
This is the ace match, so you don't want to risk it all.
Yeah, being a little bit more safe, which, you know, don't blame him. But yeah, you know, this is pretty nice. You know, he's denying creep with these Hellions.
Yeah. He's getting the Viking this time, as opposed to the previous two series, and that is on the hunt for Red Overlord Tober.
Yeah, denying Demi's vision as much as he can, you know, with the creep spread as well as denying Overlords.
And while Azure isn't really doing anything non-standard behind this, it does keep Demi a little bit paranoid, thinking he does not want me to get information.
Yeah.
Why?
And, like, this also helps when it comes to Azure's push, right? Like, the longer it goes unscouted, like, the more time, well, like, the less time Demi has to prepare and move his army, like, to be in position, you know?
Speaking of Demi's army, he's going quite a bit heavy into roaches as well. Like, he did it in both games as well, but whether it was bio or mech, and he's just keeping the tradition.
Yeah, it's a little bit like, I guess it's a little bit easier to defend against like early pushes instead of like just Ling Bane. You have roaches instead of Banes, which is a little bit more like guaranteed damage, whereas Banes can be microed against. But yeah. We will see that Baniness go down regardless as Demi is transitioning.
Indeed, it will. Hopefully this time his transition will be a little bit more seamless, or rather Azure won't, like, you know, poke into Demi and make Demi think, I need army now.
Yeah. I'm curious to see like if Demi changes anything. Like, is he gonna go Muta this game? Is he gonna go Hydra? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
He went Spire every game so far, and so there's only one thing that we can glean off of that.
Yeah,
it's gonna be what, lurkers,
infestation pit.
Yeah, before the Spire, so it is gonna be. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it could be infestors, could be swarm hosts, could just be fast ultra, fast hive.
I mean, we did see Demi throw down the Desperation Ultralis Cavern last game, but could not quite get into fruition.
Oh, here we go though. He's getting ready for his push.
Good timing, yeah. Stim is done. Combat Shields is almost about done. Or about even number upgrades, but there's a lot of army here for Azure.
The Banes aren't ready yet. They do need a couple more seconds to finish up.
Right, both of them need to be as patient as they can be. Azure bringing every ounce. Yeah, there's one Ravager. Azure bringing every ounce of army as he can, and a lot of those Bailings just crash into Hellbats instead of actually connecting with the Marines.
Yeah, it does need to be careful. Ending speed is gonna finish up soon. Azure, he's not moving his tanks forward though. He's keeping them where they are.
Oh, he doesn't want Demi to pounce on them, I don't think, but he is bringing in reinforcements. That's a pretty big amount of Marines and even more tanks. He is just parade pushing at this point, really.
But bailing speed, it's about to finish. It's done.
It is, and he's left one of his tanks really exposed, and he's left all of his tanks exposed.
Yeah, and he's got more Ravagers on the way
as well. With the high ground, Demi is able to just shell these tanks like nobody's business. And now he's exposing his tanks once again, and he does manage to split. And the splits are pretty good, but the tanks are gone, and the rat roaches are here. A lot of bio. Yeah, a lot of bio from Azure, though, is dodging these vials very nicely. And Queens can transfuse, but medevac healing is quite a bit better. He is running out of medevac energy, though, and he has to evacuate. Not at all the end result of that push that you want if you're Azure. He is continuing to parade push, though, and as we said, he did cancel that. Fourth base.
Yeah. But he did give Demi quite a bit of time to, you know, to get like the units that he needed.
That's a hive.
That is a hive. In saying that though, Azure, if he scouts it, he could still deny that bottom base that Demi is trying to take.
I think he sort of does know that it's there, but he's just unsure of how he wants to really engage it.
Yeah, especially, I don't know about this tank positioning. They can be sniped by Ravager Shot.
Could they?
Yeah, well, from the high ground, two of them can with like the same vials.
But not quite entirely. Nice concave coming in from Demi.
There
Here comes the vials once again. And again, having to kite back and exposes the tanks quite a bit. Both of them just about trading army value, but it's a trade that does go into Demi's favor. Nice zoning with those vials.
Does need to be careful. There's only one banding left.
Very aggressive.
Well, I feel like he has to be. He has to be aggressive. He has to do something about this base. He did kill a lot of transitioning drones though, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's going in to push.
All right, there are no there are very few banelings here, but still, you have to respect the roachling count. That's a lot of roaches coming in, and the splits are pretty good. Does not expose the tank once again, and this is actually a fantastic position for Azure.
He's gonna get it. He's gonna get the base.
Let's go and get it. Go and get it.
Yeah. And Demi, you know, respecting Azure's army, backing off,
we'll try
not
to go for
committing
flank.
to the fight. Oh, he may get a couple of tanks there.
Misrallying quite a bit. Does lose one tank. And I think Azure now, I don't know, I think he doesn't need to just go all the way back, but I think he can just chill I feel like for a little bit.
He can. Like, he's done a lot. I don't know if I would risk staying because, oh my god, all it takes is like a couple of good biles or a couple of good bane hits and it could all be over.
It will! Okay, Baneling not actually connecting with too much. That one does get quite a couple. And actually forcing blinding clouds. Yeah, forcing these blinding clouds on the bio. It's not too bad. It's gonna take the Viper out of it's gonna take the Viper out of commission for a little bit. And Azure, he's coming in with his tank push. He's splitting up. That's a lot of tanks, and he's splitting them up into a very nice position. Snipes the Viper! And he gets another one. That he does. GG! Oh my god, Light! History has been made in the Grand Platypus Open.
Mate, what has happened? What's happening? Demi, 14-time GPO champion,
denied final appearance.
He gets knocked out. He gets knocked out of the tournament. That's never happened before.
That it has not. Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. I think I might have left that game a little bit too fast, as now StarCraft. Oh! Hello? But
yo, I'm still trying to process what has happened.
Absolutely. What a better way to end. What a better way for the final GPO of 2019 to go down.
Yeah.
Has Demi lost the series in the GPO? He has, but that usually happened during double elim brackets, and he just came back up from the lower bracket. This is the first time. This is not just the first time we'll have a champion that's not Demi. This is also the first time that Demi is not going to make it to the finals.
That's true. That is very true. Oh my god.
And you know what?
Okay.
Beastork and Azure. These are the two, I would say, the most worthy champions after Demi. Alright. Shall we go on or shall we take a break? I'll leave that up to your discretion, Light.
Let us take a 5-minute break.
Thank Christ.
And then we will start our finals of GPO 15, Azure versus Beastork. Be right back.